Hey everyone, today we'll be talking about how to make interesting MOCs. Now in this video I'm going to be talking about more simple MOCs because right now I don't have any super complex MOCs up that I'm willing to show. I have one or maybe two, but they're not exactly good examples for this episode or this one-off. I probably won't be doing multiple of these. And if you'd like me to, I would build at least two of these if you want me to make a build video at some point on any of them, because they're all pretty simple, but I think they're very interesting looking MOCs. So the first technique I use to make interesting MOCs, and this is the one that everybody already knows, it's the color scheme. If you pick maybe a bright color scheme or just an interesting color scheme, such as like tan and another color, maybe in this case tan and neon yellow, I think is what people classify this as, but it's always kind of looked like lime green to me. But this is an interesting color scheme. I also threw in some dark tan, and these Bionicle pieces just naturally have a little bit of brown on them. And I've always thought that was a super cool armor plate piece. I love dual molded pieces because they just look realistic with the multiple colors. Unfortunately, he's missing a few pieces on his back. I'll probably fix that pretty soon. I don't remember what was on his back, though. So for this video, I'm just going to keep him turned around this way. If I do a build video, of course, I will fix his back, though. Another thing you can do to make a guy like this interesting is a weapon. Unfortunately, I didn't include a weapon for this MOC just because there's two cool weapons over there. So with this guy, his main interesting thing is his color scheme. Also, the use of a head. You can come up with a custom head or add something onto his head. For this guy, I just used Vorox's head. No special treatment, nothing added on. I did use a Hero Factory under helmet piece, not a Bionicle one, just because it's easier to connect a Hero Factory headpiece than a Bionicle headpiece. Another thing you can also do is make the body look different. That's another way to make an interesting MOC, and what I mean by that is make a custom body or just a body using a slightly different design. As you can see here, I used a pretty standard Bionicle body piece, but instead of just armoring it up normally, I put two of these panel pieces on the side, added a big Lego assembly, and General Grievous's chest plate piece to make it look interesting. Wires help MOCs greatly too. If you'll just wrap a wire around the MOC at some point, it'll look very mechanical, and that usually helps instantly make MOCs look a little bit better, because wires are interesting and you can pose them however you want pretty much. Also, if you put things sticking off of the MOCs to make them appear either larger or more menacing, like I did with these Baraki pincher pieces on his back, those stick up quite nicely and you can see them from every angle, and those make him look more intimidating. Another thing you can do to make MOCs more interesting is add to their heads. As you can see, I gave him some wires coming out of this breather. I gave him a sort of mohawk, I guess you could call that. And another thing I do is I try to give my MOCs a different transparent color. His is transparent orange, as you can see. I put some different transparent orange elements around the build, and then I gave him, this is more of a pink color, but I really like this transparent piece with that nice printing. That came from a Star Wars set. I just really like it. I know it's not transparent orange, but it gives him some more, interesting contrast to contrast with that white and the silver around that. So I just think that's a cool element. Also, something I like is when you move the wires, it also moves the tanks to the different ways looking. I think that is also cool. This MOC is going to be in my new stop motion series, and so I want to make sure that that works just right every time, so that when I move him, it'll look the same every time. And that's just something cool, something extra that will move on him when he moves his head. Another thing you can do to make them interesting, of course, is give them a weapon. So in this case, I gave him a heavy machine gun, or this would probably be considered a light machine gun. I'm not sure. Or maybe even a personal cannon. I'm not sure exactly what it shoots, but it's obviously a heavy piece of machinery. I really like that gun, and I think it makes him look a little bit more intimidating. This MOC uses quite a few of the techniques I just mentioned. He has a pretty interesting gun. I really like this gun. I just made it probably a week ago. I think it looks very interesting. I love this tiny fin piece, or this tiny Technic panel. I got that from the most recent Batmobile, or no, not Batmobile, Bat Bike. It's with the Technic one. I believe it's the most recent. It comes with quite a few valuable pieces. I'm very glad I bought that set. If you're looking for a lot of good Technic pieces and for a not very steep price, that Bat Bike is very good. I like his head also. I think it's pretty interesting. It's just Von Nebula's head on a Bionicle standard headpiece with that long green head filler. And I dropped Von Nebula's mask, so I'm gonna have to get that. And then of course you just slide that on, and it looks pretty cool. I thought about attaching wires up into those slots that are conveniently placed just for that, but I didn't want to restrict the head movement too much. Also, I gave him this wire with a bunch of cylinders on it, so I think that also looks visibly interesting. Or visually interesting, I mean. I also put a wire, as you can see, coming out of that tank. I always try to make the backs of my MOCs look interesting for whatever reason. I don't know why. Maybe just because so many Lego sets don't do that, or at least they didn't do that back when I was a major Lego purchaser. Now I basically just buy sets like Bionicle and Hero Factory sets that aren't on the market anymore. I don't really use Legos that much anymore except for MOC building, so I don't buy just an abundance of sets anymore. But enough about that. This MOC doesn't really have an interesting stomach or body, I would say. I really like those macaroni tube pieces, though. They're so easy to use, and they look very good. They can be used for organic MOCs or mechanical. Of course, my style leans heavily towards mechanical builds, so that's primarily what I use those pieces for. But that's really all I have to say about the MOCs individually. I hope this video helped. I hope you can take something away from this video. And if you want me to build any of these MOCs, don't hesitate to ask, because I'm looking for some content to put out. So that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and check out some of my other videos.